You have been trying to lose belly fat for months, but no one told you that 3 things you do every single day are secretly working against you. And the worst part is, these habits feel completely normal, which is exactly why millions of people never figure out why their belly fat just will not go away. Most people wake up every single morning with the same promise to themselves. Today is the day. Today I will eat better. Today I will move more. Today things will be different. And they mean it. They genuinely, deeply mean it. But then something happens. The day goes by. The belly stays exactly the same. Maybe even gets a little worse. And that feeling of failure starts to creep in again. That quiet voice in the back of your head whispering that maybe you just are not meant to be lean. Maybe your body is just built this way. Maybe no matter what you do, nothing is ever going to change. But here is what nobody is telling you. It is not your willpower that is broken. It is not your metabolism that is hopeless. And it is definitely not your genetics that are working against you. The real problem is hiding in plain sight. It is in the habits you repeat every single day without even thinking about them. Habits that feel so normal, so harmless, so innocent that you would never in a million years suspect they are the very reason your belly fat will not budge. And today, we are going to expose all 3 of them, one by one, in detail. Because once you see them for what they really are, everything starts to make sense. Let us start with the first habit. And this one is going to surprise you because almost everyone does it. It is eating too little during the day and too much at night. Now, before you say that sounds like a personal problem, understand that this is one of the most common patterns among people who struggle with belly fat specifically. Here is how it plays out. You wake up in the morning, you are not that hungry. Maybe you skip breakfast or just grab something small. Lunch rolls around and you are busy, so you keep it light. You tell yourself you are being disciplined. You are doing great. But then evening comes and something shifts. The hunger that has been building all day finally takes over. You sit down for dinner and you eat more than you planned. Then maybe a snack. Then maybe a little something sweet. And before you know it, 70% of your daily food intake happened in the last 4 hours of your day. This is a massive problem for belly fat specifically. And here is why. Your body processes food very differently depending on the time of day. In the morning and early afternoon, your body is primed and ready to use what you eat as energy. Your insulin sensitivity is at its highest, meaning your cells are efficient at pulling in nutrients and burning them off. But as the day goes on, and especially as night approaches, that efficiency drops significantly. Your body starts shifting towards storage mode. The same meal that your body would have used as fuel at noon becomes something your body is far more likely to store as fat at 10 in the evening. Researchers at the Salk Institute for Biological Studies found that people who consumed the majority of their calories later in the day showed significantly higher rates of fat accumulation around the midsection compared to those who front-loaded their eating earlier. Your body runs on an internal biological clock, and that clock governs not just when you sleep and wake, but how your cells process every single calorie you consume. When you eat against that clock, your body pays a real and measurable price. The fix is not complicated, but it does require a mental shift. Start eating more earlier. Not more total food, just redistributing when you eat it. A solid breakfast with real protein. A full, satisfying lunch that actually fills you up. And then a lighter dinner that does not leave your body scrambling to figure out what to do with all those extra calories at the worst possible time. This one change alone can make a visible difference in your midsection within a matter of weeks. Now let us talk about the second habit. This one is sneaky because it feels like progress. It feels like you are doing the right thing. The habit is chronic low-level stress that you have simply learned to live with. You are not in a crisis. Nothing terrible is happening. You are just busy, overwhelmed, always slightly behind, always with a to-do list that never fully empties. And you have gotten so used to that feeling that you no longer even notice it. You think that is just life. That is just how things are. But your body has not gotten used to it at all. When your body perceives stress, even low-grade background stress, it releases a hormone called cortisol. Cortisol is not inherently evil. It serves a purpose. In short bursts, it gives you energy, sharpens your focus, and helps you handle whatever is in front of you. But when cortisol is elevated day after day, week after week, something very specific and very frustrating happens. Your body begins to preferentially store fat in your abdominal region. This is not a coincidence. This is a deeply programmed biological survival response. Your body, thinking it is under sustained threat, tries to keep energy reserves as close to your vital organs as possible. And the place it chooses to do that is right around your belly. On top of that, chronically elevated cortisol triggers intense cravings for high-calorie, high-sugar, and high-fat foods. Not because you are weak. Not because you have no self-control. But because your brain is receiving chemical signals telling it to seek out fast energy. This is why people under stress reach for chips and cookies and fast food instead of salads and grilled chicken. Your brain is doing exactly what it was designed to do. The problem is that the stressor is a deadline or a difficult relationship or financial pressure, not an actual physical threat that requires you to run or fight. So all those extra calories go straight to the one place your body has decided to store them during times of danger, your belly. The research on this is overwhelming. A study published in the journal Obesity found that women with high waist-to-hip ratios, meaning more belly fat, showed significantly higher cortisol reactivity to stressors compared to women with lower ratios. Another study from Yale University found that, even in lean women, those who were more susceptible to stress had more abdominal fat. The link between cortisol and belly fat is not theoretical. It is biological, consistent, and well-documented. So what do you do about it? You have to take stress management as seriously as you take your diet and your workouts. Not as a luxury. Not as something you will get to someday. As a non-negotiable part of your fat loss strategy. That means building in daily decompression time. Even 10 minutes of deliberate slow breathing can meaningfully lower cortisol levels. Physical movement helps enormously. Not intense punishing exercise, which can actually spike cortisol further, but walking, stretching, anything that signals safety to your nervous system. Sleep, which we're about to talk about, is also one of the most powerful cortisol regulators there is. Which brings us to the third habit. And this one might be the most damaging of all because it compounds every other problem on this list. The habit is sacrificing sleep to get more done. You stay up late. You wake up early. You tell yourself you will catch up on the weekend. You wear your exhaustion like a badge of productivity. And all the while, your belly fat is growing because of it. Here is what is happening inside your body when you are sleep deprived. First, your cortisol levels rise. You already know what that means. But it does not stop there. Sleep deprivation also disrupts two hormones called leptin and ghrelin that directly control your hunger and your sense of fullness. Leptin is the hormone that tells your brain you have had enough to eat. When you do not get enough sleep, leptin levels drop. Your brain stops receiving the signal that you are satisfied. Ghrelin is the hormone that makes you feel hungry. When you are sleep deprived, ghrelin levels increase. Your brain receives louder and more persistent hunger signals. This is not a coincidence. This is a direct and measurable hormonal consequence of not sleeping enough. A landmark study from the University of Chicago found that participants who slept only 5.5 hours per night for 2 weeks lost significantly less fat and significantly more muscle compared to those who slept 8.5 hours, even when total calorie intake was identical. The same food, the same number of calories. Completely different body composition results. Just because of sleep. And there is more. Poor sleep also interferes with your body's ability to regulate blood sugar. When you are chronically tired, your cells become less responsive to insulin. This means more glucose stays in your bloodstream longer, and more of it eventually gets converted to and stored as fat. Particularly in the abdominal region, which has a high concentration of cortisol receptors and is extremely sensitive to the hormonal chaos that sleep deprivation creates. The cruel irony is that many people sacrifice sleep in order to exercise more or cook healthier meals. They think they're making a trade-off that serves their fat loss goals. But the science says otherwise. A body that is sleep-deprived is a body that is hormonally compromised, metabolically inefficient, and biologically primed to hold on to fat and accumulate more of it. No amount of morning workouts or meal-prepped salads can fully compensate for the damage that chronic sleep deprivation does to your fat loss progress. Getting between 7 and 9 hours of quality sleep per night is not laziness. It is one of the most powerful fat-burning strategies available to you. It is free. It requires no equipment, no gym membership, no special foods. Just a consistent commitment to protecting your sleep the same way you would protect any other important investment in your health. So let us bring this all together. 3 habits. Eating most of your calories late in the day. Living with chronic, unmanaged stress. And not sleeping enough. None of them require you to binge on junk food. None of them require you to skip the gym entirely. They're subtle. They're quiet. They feel like normal life. And that is exactly what makes them so dangerous. Because when your belly fat is not responding to your efforts, these are the invisible forces working against you beneath the surface. And now that you can see them clearly, you have the power to change them. Understanding the problem is only the beginning. The real transformation happens when you take what you have learned and actually apply it to your daily life. The 3 habits we talked about today are not complicated to fix. They do not require perfection. They require consistency and awareness. Start with 1. Master it. Then move to the next. Small shifts in daily behavior are what create permanent changes in your body. And that is exactly the kind of change that actually lasts. If this video helped you understand why your belly fat has been sticking around despite your efforts, do us a favor and hit that subscribe button right now. We put out content every week that breaks down the real science behind fat loss in a way that actually makes sense for real people. Drop a comment below and tell us which of these 3 habits you think has been holding you back the most. We read every single one. And we will see you in the next video.